We saw recently that the US team won their case about the equal rights pay. Uh, how 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 you think that it should be going down with the Jamaican team?
I just feel like we as athletes shouldn't have to pick up a second job just to support ourselves while we play football. That's all I ask.
Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, sports fans. Welcome to another episode of Sports Down the Middle, the channel of undiluted sports content. Today we have a very, very special guest in the house. But before we bring on that special guest, I want you guys to hit that notification bell and subscribe if you're new. Tigat, what's up?
Hey, what go on, brother? There.
All right, without further ado, I want to bring on Jamaica's reggae girl, Yazmeen Jamieson. She's currently the goalkeeper. And what go on, Yazmeen?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time out.
No problem.
All right, there's a question that we ask everybody. Who's your favorite sports teams?
I'm a really big Manchester United fan. I think that's the... What?
You guys lost today.
I know. I don't want to talk about it. I turned off the match, I think the 86th minute, and I said it can't get any worse than this. And then I look at the score and it was 4-1. I was like, oh my gosh. But I feel like once you choose a team, even if they're bad, you just have to be loyal to them throughout the end. So I chose them when I was like 6, and I'm not gonna switch.
All right, loyal. Who is Yazmeen and how you got involved in football?
Yazmeen is a woman of many talents. I got involved in football when I was about 6 years old. I started off with tennis, but I ended up breaking my hand. So my mom said, you need to do something with your feet while your hand recovers. So I was a striker for most of my life. But I'm very tall. I'm 5'10" and a half. My dad's 6'6". So they're like, oh, you're going to be really tall, so you should play goalie. And I hated it. I said, I don't like this position. It's wila. Like, they're blasting balls at me. This is scary. Yeah. And my coach put me on the field half as a striker, half as a keeper. And I only went keeper full time in university. So I started pretty late. But I think once I hit university, I was like, okay, you can't be playing 2 positions. You need to master one. So that's how I got into goalkeeping. But most of my life, I was a striker.
Wow, that's a major transition. A lot of players, going from striker to goalkeeper, defender. Mm-hmm. We've seen that a lot. You could have represented Canada, Grenada, and Jamaica. Why Jamaica? Why you selected the?
I was actually scooped up by Jamaica at a very young age. I was 14, turning 15. I met Mr. Blaine when I was 14 years old, and we had a game against Jamaica, the U15 team. And I was a goalkeeper playing against the Reggae girls. And he came up to me after the match, and he's like, are you Jamaican? And I was like, yes, I'm Jamaican. He's like, okay, switch jerseys. And I was like, you want me to play against my team? And he's like, yes.
Wow.
So I switched jerseys. My team was not happy with me. They didn't talk to me a lot of them didn't talk to me for the rest of the trip. But I played with Jamaica against the team that I came with, and we won. So that was my introduction into Team Jamaica. And then my first camp was like a few weeks later, and I just bonded with the girls right away. A lot of the girls that I met then are my best friends to this day, and I was only 14 years old. So I just feel like I didn't necessarily choose Jamaica, but Jamaica chose me, and I was like, yes, like there was no question about it after that. I had opportunities to play for Canada, but I was a lot older, and I just felt like I was already really bonded and really glued into the Jamaican national system, and I just never thought to switch after that.
Well, thank you very much for picking Jamaica. You made a right choice, definitely. But you represented Jamaica at our only female World Cup in 2019. How was that experience like?
I mean, I don't think you compare it to anything else. It's the highest level of football, male or female. So it was definitely a surreal moment and something that I didn't really take in until like a year later. That I was like, yeah, it's like you went to the FIFA Women's World Cup. And I think as a little girl, because that is such a huge accomplishment, it was never even really a dream of mine because I never thought it was possible. So even for qualifying and getting there, I think throughout the journey, I was so focused on just next game, next practice, whatever, that I didn't actually like take in the moment until after. But now stepping back, I'm like, this is, it still doesn't even really like resonate with me. It's a huge honor and a huge accomplishment.
You guys are currently locked in World Cup qualifications, trying to make it back-to-back World Cups. How confident are you guys, in terms of beating Cayman and Damre coming up?
I feel like when a lot of people look at the Caribbean qualifiers, the first round for the World Cup, they think it should just be a walk in a park. And they think that we'll just, mash up some teams and go on. But I just feel like every competition, I just pretend that it's the US. You just have to go in there and you have to respect your competition because you never know. Once you get on the field, anything could happen. So I feel like we've taken this very seriously and we've been preparing in our individual clubs, our individual locations, so that when we get together, we can come through and really dominate. Because I don't think that we should just waste these opportunities. We don't get a lot of time to play together. So whenever we do get a game, even if it's Cayman Islands or Grenada, teams that are not as strong, I feel like this is our chance to practice and to play together and gel so that we can prepare for those bigger games. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to make it out of the group. I just think that we need more time together as a team. People would be surprised to say that like we made it to the World Cup and there are players that I met for the first time. At a camp. And I'm just like, okay, we're going to the World Cup together. Or I've been in matches, like practice matches, and I've told a player on the field that I'm left-footed. Like for the US and Canada, they would never have to experience that. But for us, we don't get that much time together. So I just feel like going into the Caribbean qualifiers, I feel like we're going to get out of this group and we're just using this as a time to gel.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just think it comes down to me being in a club and just me getting consistent playing time within a club. Right. My soccer journey has not been easy. I finished university while I was in the World Cup and I didn't have a team and then the pandemic hit. So now I'm like, I feel like I should be in a club right now, but everything kind of got pushed back because of COVID. So I feel like once I get into a club and, I get that consistency, then I can really start to focus on pushing into the starting 11. But right now I'm just working on getting better, coming into every camp stronger, and just really focusing on growing every single time. I don't want to come into a camp and be the same. So I think everyone has noticed that every time I come back, I'm definitely a lot better than the last time that they saw me.
Okay, Yazmeen, what is your favorite reggae boy or reggae girl?
I would say my favorite reggae girl would have to be Den Den. She is probably one of my closest friends, not even just within football. And she's my favorite reggae girl because if you see how hard this girl works behind the scenes when nobody's watching, I think it's just very inspiring. And she supports me and she always encourages me. And she's one of the reasons why I still continue to play football, because the amount of times I've called her crying, ready to give up, or she's called me. And I just feel like it's good to have that type of relationship with your teammates. And you can also be best friends outside the field.
Who is Den Den? Dominique?
Den Den is Den Den, Denisha Blackwood.
Oh, Denisha Blackwood. Okay. For those that didn't know. All right. And your favorite reggae boy?
Reggae boy.
Andre Blake.
Oh, okay.
Andre Blake inspires me a lot. I'm a little bit shy when I talk about it, but every time I watch his games, I'm just like amazed, and I'm like, if I could be like half the goalkeeper that he is, then that'd be a huge accomplishment.
Nice. All right. So how was it difficult from transition from college to pro?
I don't think so, because I started playing with the U20 team when I was like 17 years old. And then when I was 19, I made my debut for the senior team in Haiti. So our first round of World Cup qualifiers, I started all of those matches. And I had no idea what I was doing, and I was like really nervous and scared. But because I played with a lot of these girls when I was younger, it was just a smooth transition. It didn't really feel like, oh, now you were on the U20 team and now you're with the senior team, because I knew most of the girls going into the senior team. And they kind of showed me the way. They made me feel comfortable. They welcomed me with open arms. So I don't think it was a rough transition from the U20s to the senior team.
Okay. We saw recently that the US team won their case about the equal rights pay. Uh, how 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 you think that it should be going down with the Jamaican team?
I just feel like we as athletes shouldn't have to pick up a second job just to support ourselves while we play football. That's all I ask. I don't think that we're progressive enough in society to say that like we should be making $1 million deals, whatever, just like Messi and whatnot, because we don't necessarily pull in that type of revenue. But at the same time, I think that the pay gap is disrespectful. A lot of players on the team, including myself, we can't just play football. We have to get a job on the side to support ourselves because our salary isn't going to cover a living wage. So all I ask from a standpoint in terms of payment is so that we can just be treated as athletes. You know, we put in the same amount of work as the men. We do the same thing as the men. The ball is round, the field is long and wide, and we do the same thing. So I don't understand why the salary has to be such a huge, significant difference.
Okay. All right. So what Yasmin is listening to these days? Song on the repeat. Tell me what Yasmin has been doing.
I'm gonna pull out my phone. Everyone calls me DJ Jamieson because like I'm always playing tracks for the team. The one song that I do listen to a lot is Silence by Popcorn. I listen to Champion, Buju Banton. And I listen to, these are my repeat songs. These are the songs that like they get me going through the day. I'm also Grenadian, so I listen to a lot of job music. And No Behavior by Cloud 5 and Mafia Job by Slata. Those are my rotation.
Nice variety.
Yeah, nice variety. Yeah. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see myself at another World Cup. I see myself at Olympic qualifiers, maybe an Olympics. I see myself finally established and settled into a club full time. I see myself having a major influence on the female soccer community, because when I think about football, I don't just think about the sport. I think about how you can have an impact on people's lives. So my biggest goal is when I retire, I can come back to Jamaica, come back to the Caribbean, give back to the community, open a soccer school, you know, create scholarships. So hopefully I'm well established and financially stable enough where I can start to give back in 5 years.
Okay, nice. So where can fans follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Instagram at Yazmeen_Jamieson. You can follow me on Twitter, Yazmeen Jamieson. I do have a YouTube channel, but I'm not going to plug it yet because I'm going to bring it back.
You need to propose some content. I've seen it.
I have some content, but I stopped. I deleted all the videos of me talking. I just left soccer stuff, but I'm going to bring it back because I feel like a lot of young female athletes, they don't have anything to like look at in terms of what does a female soccer player do in the day? Because sometimes even me, I'm Googling, okay, like what's the life of a female professional athlete? Like I don't find it anywhere. So that's what I kind of want to bring to YouTube, and I'm working on it. It's in the works. So I'll plug my YouTube eventually, but not now.
Okay, nice.
All right, folks, go over there and follow Yazmeen Jamieson. And but want to thank Reggae Girl Goalkeeper and Simcoe County Rovers Goalkeeper, Yazmeen Jamieson. Thank you very much for coming on and chatting with Sports DTM.
Thank you for having me.
All right, there you have it, fans. Another interesting interview this time with Reggae Girl. And, let us know what you guys thought about the interview below. Drop your comment, drop your like, share the video, and remember, always subscribe. This has been another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Be blessed.